And you know, being a Vancouver resident, a Filipino Canadian, I think it's been really, really nice to see how people from different cultures, different backgrounds, ages, you know, everything, they're coming together to really show love for the Philippines. We saw that in so many interesting places where we got to cover stories.
I'm here at the Thompson Community Center to participate in a Walk for Love, a walkathon designed to raise awareness and funding.
The spirit of giving has been overwhelming. We've seen people of all ages, cultures, and backgrounds coming together to show support.
It's never a surprise, but it's always gratifying to see the kind of support that the people of Richmond, all the volunteers, supporters, and the community will give when there's a disaster around the world.
Well, when I was a university student, I lived in the Philippines for 6 months as an exchange student, and I live in the province. So I know the situation, and personally, I am very much connected with the Philippines, and I have lots of Filipino friends. So when this happened, it hurts me, to know that there's such a disaster in the Philippines.
Richmond is a great city, and we always come and help people in need, no matter where they are from. And so I hope that doing this in the future, if ever Richmond needs help, people will help us too.
We have so many fundraisings. It's almost 3 per day, and I'm very happy that we are getting so much help.
Yeah, Rose is a BC grown organisation, so it was evolved from people in BC, and mostly we were field workers who actually had experience from various places overseas. So we're getting food out really early, much earlier than actually a lot of organisations were managing to do, simply because they had the local contacts and connections.
We want to show the people of the Philippines that anyone from different walks of life, they do something like this to show that they care.
Regardless of your nationality, regardless of your political belief, we should all set aside all these differences and help the people.
Immigrants from the Philippines is now the #1, growing fast, coming into our nation. And, for example, in the city of Richmond alone, 1 in 10 is from the Philippines. So it shows that Filipino Canadians are also contributing in building Canada. That is why when this whole tragedy happens, it hits the hearts of every Canadian because, it is a whole global village now. And we are proud to be Canadian.
One life, one love for the Philippines.
We are here at the Aberdeen Centre Mall in Richmond, BC, where local artists and community leaders have come together to be a part of Love Without Borders, a concert that is raising funds for the survivors of Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines. This event is truly Love Without Borders, as Filipino artists were joined by Fairchild Communications on-air personalities who encourage the crowd to donate or purchase items under silent auction. After raising thousands of dollars, the concert ended with a heartfelt rendition by all the performers of We Are the World.
There comes a time when we hear a certain chord,
when the world must come together as one.
We are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start living. Choice we're making, we're saving our lives. It's sure it make a better day, just you and me. Come on, we are the world. We are the children. We are the children.
Elise Estrada and Adam Hurstfield organized a fundraiser at the Shangri-La. Posh though it was, the atmosphere was somber and purposeful.
Thank you guys so much for coming. A lot of these families already have nothing. They have very little. And it just broke my heart to see that they didn't even have each other anymore. So we knew that we had to do something. We were getting ready to launch. We were here in our own little bubble, our team, Adam and I. We were in our own little bubble, excited to launch my first single, You Don't Need to Know. And it didn't feel right to release something so happy. So we decided to write this song.
Elise didn't mention this, but she has 11 cousins who lost their houses. And fortunately, they survived. And there's so many people that just didn't survive. Thousands of people died, and millions are still homeless. And we're living here in Vancouver, and we're hanging out at the Shangri-La Hotel, enjoying this beautiful event. And there's just more to life. Like, we are all very blessed.
Our way of helping out our kababayans.
This is different from other fundraising events because it caters to the sports-minded people. It's a sports event, but at the same time, it helps the Philippines. Hopefully, this will continue, not just because there's a typhoon, but it will become a unifying factor for all the Filipinos.
Checkpoint talked to Professor Lakian at the Filipino fundraiser at the UBC Asian Center. He spoke about disaster preparedness and rebuilding.
And we'll talk about this and more here on Checkpoint.
In the rural areas, people are more able to survive because they know how to live from day to day. If there is no water, the coconuts will provide them with water. They can dig up their camotes and so on. That's why, and when I was tracking the reports, in one village, only one person died. Because the people knew what to do and they all rushed over to the hills. It is in the cities where you have lost the ability to survive on your own that the problems are going to be really, really difficult. As a planner, I think it will take more than a year to redevelop Tacloban. But in the rural areas, people can build their own barong-barong, they can build their own nipple huts, and they're going to live very closely and be able to survive. Typhoon Yolanda was a real call to action. And this is really beautifully displayed in what the Filipinos overseas are doing. I read the World Bank estimate of how much remittances will be sent because of this typhoon, $6 billion, $2 billion from Canada alone. So this is going to be the trend. The Philippines will have to set up its own resources, but happily there are resources from abroad with 10 million Filipinos all over the world now responding to a calamity such as this. I think the world is realizing that because of this climate change, the number of disasters are going to go up. With the sea level rise, with the climate change, we are going to have to face all of these calamities. In fact, in my study of 17 countries all over Asia on how prepared they are for disaster preparedness, 28 of the largest cities in the world in Asia are living in areas of 1 meter above sea level. So with a sea level rise, you're gonna be hit. Bangkok, Manila. In fact, Bangkok and Manila are already sinking right now. So we have to really prepare for the future, for all of these future calamities. I spent 2 years in the South Pacific, And some of those islands are now underwater. So that is really what's happening now. Scientists say that global warming is not happening. All you have to do is take a look at what's happening in the South Pacific. There has always been a fear among Filipinos that, magdo-donate ka dyan, baka sa bulsa lang mapunta, But the severity of this typhoon has really more or less erased that. They say we cannot be that cynical anymore.